From whilst we last left off. Yeah, my microphone working now. To whilst we left off, this is the map of the world. No commentary last video because nothing works. Ever. Nothing likes me. But we last left off with a mass expansion by the light green. I would let you guys name these, but I don't have enough channel. I don't have enough clout to do that. Not enough people know who I am. Yeah. So, basically, everybody here doesn't like existence. Welcome back to History 2. We're here existing. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 civilizations here. And that's never fun. So, violence is the answer. We're going to start off with some expansion as the red team moves along the coast. Yes, this area is kind of inspired by the Southeast Asian peninsula. I kind of made Myanmar here when I was making the map, and I was like, let's make the rest of Southeast Asia. So yeah, that's being captured by the red team. Kind of moving inward a bit as well. Stretching along the coast is kind of their main goal, is they don't want anyone getting the land. Although they were a bit late to that, because guess who's already down here? That's right. The Prematorial Malaysians are already becoming Polynesian. That means I get to be... No, I'm not. I'm never speaking again. Basically, they made 2 colonies in the area, snaked down the coast a bit. And they're just, like, competing with the red team for more territory, I guess. Meanwhile, because the world is a sphere, I don't care what you say, it is here. Colony. A big one at that. Yeah, the entire world's being colonized. Screw 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue. We're still in ancient times. And these guys finally meet up with somebody who is new. There is now a maroon group who meets up with these guys. There's now a maroon group who is basically just like Scandinavia, except they kind of just like go ballistic and push him out of the peninsula completely. They push him out of the peninsula, kick him out of the islands. It's not good. They even attempt invasions of the mainland, but it never works. Like, they try, and they try, and then they try, and it goes successfully, and then it doesn't. And then they try getting over here. It goes well for a bit, and then it doesn't. Like, it worked, then it didn't. I don't know what I'm doing. So now there's more civilizations. I think it's time that I explain what else is happening in the world. So basically, I've been ignoring an entire very strange looking peninsula over here that's completely controlled by whatever this color is. It's like a lavender color. Now this lavender, as is the name itself, is very peaceful. It just wants to expand and cause world peace, which obviously isn't going too well. But they don't know anyone else exists. They've gone across the ocean before and reached these lands, but overall they've never been able to set up a colony here. Everything has failed because either they get kicked out by the pink team, get kicked out by the green team, or get kicked out by both at the same time. They just can't. They just can't. Other than that, everything's normal. Nothing's different. So let's get to some wars, because there are some people who aren't happy. Specifically, they want to be independent. Specifically, these guys, who are now rebelling. Yeah, these guys are the British. Everyone is doing their own independence movement, and they can't do anything about it. I mean, they push back. Everyone's gaining territory to the east. They push back pretty far, but you know, with support from foreign powers and all, they don't do very well. Like they're pushed all the way to the bay until an encirclement causes for a siege. I wonder what navy could possibly, in anything ever, be doing that. Meanwhile, over here, it's just kind of... From that soundbite that I just made with my voice, let's see if anyone gets what I just said. Meanwhile, expansion over here by the Greens, who are probably the most stable out of any country here. The siege finally capitulates, and a naval invasion is made that kind of just stalemates immediately. Basically, the goal of these guys is to keep the world from, like, trying to keep these guys out of this area. Basically, kick them back to this, which they're not a fan of, so they sue for peace, which is where everything goes horribly. Because they try to sue for peace, someone just had to butt heads. Guess who's back? Back again. This lady's back to spill bull. Because they can, they decide to invade, and guess what? Negotiations don't even start. They just are like, you know what? Pact with you, let's get them. Naval invasion is unstalemated because troops are being pulled back. Two fronts don't work. Who would have thunk it? Just look at Germany. These fronts connect. This does not work. Everything goes horribly. Finally, this entire continent is finished being discovered. And basically a peace treaty is worked out eventually, where the entire continent is split up. We're kind of in the age of, like, I'd say the Mongol Empire times here. I'm trying to make this as short as a series as possible, but also make it entertaining. Basically, this entire thing is happening. This is chaos. Of course, not everyone agrees with this peace treaty. I thought I was talking about the Japanese because this is the color of the Project Gas. Or nothing. So basically, they're kicked off the continent. This is actually given to the pink team, so I don't know why I colored it in that. So civilization began in Mesopotamia in real life, and it began here with 3 civilizations in our timeline, in this timeline. I was originally planning on doing this with an actual world map, but that never actually turned out. So, yeah. Oh, new civilization. How are they doing? Oh, good lord. I wanted to make that joke because I added a new civilization. That's basically my point. Also, I'm not going to be streaming Lego Fortnite. I'm just going to upload a video that's like raw footage from OBS. So expect some very out-of-pocket things. But now there's a new giant southern civilization, so that's fun. south, north. Speaking of north, how are they doing? Well, they're not happy. Oh, and we have our first, basic alliance. So basically, the Entente was made as a defense against Big Boy Problem, aka Germany, in our timeline. It's worse here. Because, well, I kind of need to make maps. So I'm going to be, after this video, I'm gonna be making all three, I'm gonna make as many videos as possible within a tiny time span. AKA, I'm trying to make 3 videos in one day. So yeah, while these guys expand and nothing really happens, skirmish. I'd like to tell you guys that this is a fairly weird thing that I just came up with on the spot. I was watching Possible Histories, History Too Short, and I was like, what if I did that? And since I have an experience, and since I'm obviously very experienced with making complete maps, I decided to just, do this. And boom, here we are. So, back to the actual map. What I was doing there is, war. And I've got a war game. War, mate, chill, mate. If you don't know, their capital's right here, so chill out, No, I'm kidding. They're not that good at military. They're kind of stopped at this coast area, this edge city. It's overall just kind of a slow front because they're at war with, hey boys, guess who? Of course, these are rebellious provinces in themselves, so shouldn't do that well, right? They shouldn't do well. But they are. Kick 'em out of here. Get out. Get out. Basically, okay, I'll sue for peace. By tomorrow, I will have a geography map of this set up. Hopefully. Of course. Not exactly 100%. So they have to cede this area, give a bit of territory on a peninsula, split 2 islands in half, because I'm sure the populace in those areas will be very happy that there's now a Berlin Wall in the middle of their island. Hey, we haven't checked up on the on the light blue. How are they doing? So anyway, they've run into some problems, aka they can't hold on to this. So there's a new civilization that pops up through the Arrow Island, which is what I'm calling it because I literally made it based off of an arrow. Who just kind of conquers islands. They don't go on the mainland. They just kind of conquer islands. Until, of course, they make it to here, where they conquer the mainland. As you can see, I'm just kind of thinking of stuff on the spot. And there's not really stuff happening in the main continent. which would technically be Europe, but it's not. So who's friendly with who? Well, it's kind of complicated because there are people who are friendly with there are people who are friendly with others that are unfriendly with their friends. Basically, the analogy, a friend of my enemy is my enemy, or an enemy of my friend. An enemy of my friend is my enemy doesn't work here. It just doesn't. Basically, these two don't like each other, but these two like each other. These two like each other. Right. So, I'm going to use a color that's way more noticeable. These two are allies. These two hate each other, but these two are allies. These two are allies. These two hate each other. And these two hate each other, so that's normal. And also, these two are allies. These two hate each other. It's probably another complicated relationship is between these four. These two are allies. These two are allies. These two hate each other. These two hate each other. These two don't care about each other, and these two are allies. It's the most complicated thing ever. And of course, these two are fine with each other, even though, the government in over here does not like the government in over here. But the people don't give a flying shit, so that's all that really matters, right? Said no government ever. Anyway. So, you know how treaties are starting to be worked out normally, like it's a normal society? Yeah. That's right. Yeah, we're getting to the time where people are just like, I want everything, don't try and stop me. Of course, the world isn't even half discovered yet. We have all of this. We have what would be Asia, what would be Africa, and what would be Eastern Europe. And like a detached version of the Indian subcontinent to explore. Except minus the resources. They're all over here. They're actually everywhere, but yeah. There's one last war that needs to be settled, which I'm going to call the Baseless War because it's baseless. These guys, who are now extremely imperialist after winning a very, very minor war against these guys, it's the Maroons, who they wanted to get, like, this entire peninsula, but they didn't get any of it. They just got a little bit of territory. Kind of made them mad, so they're going after the coastal areas of this extremely unprofitable island territory. So, war is declared. These guys, they do pretty well at first, they can make naval landings, they push around. They kind of just like make a laughingstock of the blue team. That's because all of their troops were dealing with getting back after helping fight a war over here. Now they're finally entering, it's like about to exit into the strait, so it's kind of stalemated. And yeah, it's all coming crashing down from the north to the south. It's just kind of how it be. They're cut off, some of them are encircled. Cross naval landings, taking out an island. Dealing with that, naval landing. Keep my wife's name. Cross, captured cross, straight gun, Audi 5000. It's basically just like make them a laughingstock. Guess who's back? Back again. Yeah, it's really not going good. This isn't a Napoleonic Wars, except the orange team is France, and it's not looking too well. It's not looking too good. And eventually these guys, like, realize they're screwed when... Okay, we give up. You have no idea how many times I tapped the screen there. So basically, they sue for peace. And, basically, they lose not much over here. They kind of just lose a bit of area. Overall, they don't lose as much as I thought they would. This island goes back to them. This island goes back to them. And this island is divided. Basically, the world looks like this. Actually, honestly, the maroon side was kind of hoping for a bit of a destruction of the country. Wanted it to be divided, wanted it to be gone. But they aren't really focused on that. They're more focused on all of the oil and the iron they found down here on the new territory. Just so unstable that it falls to lavender. No, it doesn't. Like, it's so unstable and so independence willing that it gives itself a name and says, screw you, mate. This entire straight river, which is full of oil, is now an independent empire, which may be completely controlled by power-hungry people who were originally part of a company. Where have I seen that before, Britain? Basically, this entire thing is a mess. Everything's bad. Everything's bad here, okay? Everything is bad. And that's where I'll end this video. Ending it off with a deal between all of these guys to divide... Oh, and these two. And basically everyone's invited, and him, we're just using his color, to divide the entire continent. Yeah, that's where I'm ending this video, because I like cliffhangers, aka pain and suffering. Hope you enjoyed.